Hi everyone, welcome back to Peace, our 30-day yoga journey. Today is day 23, sensitivity. So we always need balance in our lives. If we're not sensitive, we miss out on so much of life, and we maybe don't treat ourselves so well or treat others so well, or notice the beauty that's going on around us, or notice the little things that are keeping us from reaching our goals. So if we're too sensitive, though, everything can drive us crazy. Every little thing can bother us. So I want to find that balance point where we can listen to our bodies, listen to our feelings, pay attention, and notice if we're trying to dull down our sensitivities by drinking too much or eating too much or even exercising too much, overworking. All these things throw us out of balance and kind of make us a little bit numb. So when I think of sensitivity, I think of like really being alive and noticing the little things. And it's the little things that often can make the difference between like brightening your day or, say, for example, falling out of a pose or being able to stay in it, being able to run that extra distance, being able to overcome that obstacle, being able to create something beautiful. So I'd like to share a quote with you from Bryant McGill. When one learns to focus energy through surrender and sensitivity, they become free and can access the expansiveness of endless possibilities. The expansiveness of endless possibilities. So I think it's really awesome that that if we train ourselves to be more sensitive, I think we can become more alive and we become more functional and we become like more kind and more like contributing to the peace of the whole planet. So I think of like, we're going to focus on kind of 3 different aspects that are really all intermingled, but like being sensitive to your breath. How does your breath feel? Are you not breathing enough? Are you breathing too hard? Are you breathing too slow? Are you, just breathing tightly in your chest? Or do you have that full diaphragmatic breath? And how does it feel, your connection to the earth? Are you just kind of limp, letting gravity pull you down? Are you like active and engaged and interactive with the earth? And can you feel how your whole body is interconnected? It's interconnected by the fascial system, by our circulatory system, our nervous system, our skeletal system. Like everything has a role or its place in connection with everything else. So if we talk about our hand, what we do with our hands can affect all the way up into our head, into our neck and shoulders, like how we feel in our whole body. But a lot of times we don't notice things like that. So we're going to slow down a little bit today, try a few things that are a little bit different, and focus on connecting with the breath, connecting with the ground, and that whole interconnectedness of our whole body, and how ultimately we're connected to everything in the universe, known and unknown. So let's start by closing our eyes. And notice the feeling of your breath moving in and out through your body. Notice the feeling of your sit bones grounding into the earth. And notice how your whole body can feel the energy of the breath as it moves in and out. And we'll do a short pranayama practice where we're going to count the breath. So 4 counts on the inhale and 4 on the exhale. Work our way up to 7 and back down to 4. So we're gradually increasing the length of the breath and then gradually decreasing the length of the breath. So let's begin by exhaling all the air out. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And now just breathe naturally without thinking about counting, but being observant of your breath, being observant of how your whole body feels. And start to move your spine. So as you inhale, press your chest forward as you pull the shoulders back. And as you exhale, pull your belly back, let your chin lower towards your chest, rounding your spine. Inhale, come forward, arching your spine. Exhale, reach back, rounding your spine. Notice how your hips are rocking on the floor, and you feel the connection to the earth changing a little bit with each breath, with each movement. Good. Now let's come on to our hands and knees in tabletop and connect your hands, your fingers into the earth by, imagine you're grabbing the earth, and then isometrically drag your hands towards your knees and notice what happens in your body. And then isometrically push your hands away from your knees. Notice what happens. We're going to add that into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, pull your hands back towards your knees, isometrically lift your chin and your tailbone together as you lower your ribs down. And then exhale, push your hands down and away as you round your spine, lowering your chin towards your chest. And move back and forth, keeping that connection to the earth, the connection to your breath, and feeling how your whole body is being energized and affected by the movement of the spine. Now come back to neutral, and just like, I don't know, I can never resist kind of just moving the hips, moving the whole body. Now come back to neutral, tuck your toes and hover your knees just about 1 inch off the floor. And notice how it's easy to get tired pretty quickly. So if your knees are higher away from the floor, there is less kind of pull from gravity. And if your knees are lower, it's a little more work. So now we're going to step the left foot forward and the right hand forward together. And we're just going to step alternating arm and leg, back and forth, trying to keep your knees low to the ground. And then we'll step forward again. Feel that connection into the earth. And back. And then come forward again. Lower your knees down. We're going to move our spine, but this time in more of a wave-like action instead of head and tailbone moving together. We're going to start at the tailbone and inhale, curl up, and vertebrae by vertebrae, make your way into cow pose, into an arch. And then as you exhale, start at the tailbone, curl under, and feel each vertebrae pulling the next one into movement. And just go back and forth, nice and slowly, so you can really be sensitive to the movement and the interconnectedness of your entire spine and how that creates sensations in your entire body. Being sensitive to the littlest movements, to the movement of your breath. Now walk your knees back and send your hips to your heels, coming into a child's pose. But stretch your fingers forward as far as they'll go. On your next inhale, round up through your spine and keep coming all the way forward until you lower your thighs, pull your shoulders back, open up, arcing your heart up into your cobra. And push down into your hands, lift up through your back and slide back into child's pose. Inhale, round forward to cat. Exhale, lower to cobra. Inhale, back up, child's pose. Just 2 more times, rounding forward, changing the shape of your spine as you come into cobra. Press down into your toes, grab with the fingers. Back to child's pose. 1 more time, coming forward, all the way through. And press down through your toes. Lift up through your chest. Pull back through your shoulders. And reach up through the crown of your head. And come back into child's pose. So we're going to add on a little bit. So inhale, round forward into cat. Exhale, sink the ribs, open up into cow, into an arch. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, bend your elbows, lower your chest toward the floor. Hover here, and inhale, curl the tailbone under, slide forward into your cobra. And come back into child's pose. So it takes really connecting to the earth, connecting into the action of your spine to find that little rippling effect. Now inhale, come forward. Exhale, arch your spine. Grab with the hands, draw your ribs in towards each other, lower down, and then tailbone initiates the movement, curling up into your cobra. 2 more times. Let's go back. Inhale forward, round the spine. Exhale, arch your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down, stay active in your hands and curl up into your cobra. Back to child's pose. And just listen to your body, maybe like try something that might be a little bit different and see how it feels. Being really sensitive to the movement of your spine, the action of your pelvis and your whole body. See if you can feel the wave. Nice, lower down. And press back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Lift and spread your toes. And think of anchoring into the big toe mound, into the pinky toe mound and the center of the heel. So you feel that tripod of the foot. And now press down into the bottom of the big toe. So the big toe, the whole big toe is engaged. Come up onto your fingertips and lift your heels up towards your hip as you bow over your leg. And lower the heels down, shift your weight to the back of your heels, lift the front of your foot up, spread the toes. Keep the toes spreading as you lower down, lift the heels up. Lower the heels down, lift the front of the foot up. Spread the toes, sprinkle the toes onto the earth, keeping space between your toes. Ground down through your heels and walk forward into your downward facing dog. So your heels may have to come up eventually, but maybe they stay down a little bit longer. Just kind of notice how that feels. Hug your arms into each other and grip the mat with your hands. That'll make your mat a lot less slippery if it's slippery at all. On your next inhale, step your left foot in a little bit, sweep your right leg up. Reach out through your toes, and then hug your knee into your chest, straighten your leg, step your foot forward, and rise up, crescent lunge. Bend your knees a little bit, sink the hips a little lower. Press out through your heel, and notice how that sends a ripple up your whole body so that you just kind of naturally open up into a little bit of a cobra, a little bit of a back bend here. Then keep rooting down through the back foot. Reach forward, allow your hands down, step back, down dog. Bring the right foot forward a little bit, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, hug your knee into your chest, round your spine, and step your foot forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Again, sink the hips a little bit, press out through your heel, open up through your heart. Then reach forward, lower your hands down, and step back, downward facing dog. So it's the little things, these little sensitivities that give you a kind of power and a sense of ease within the effort. On your next inhale, so now we're gonna float up into Warrior 3, do some like flying movements with our arms and bending our knee, and then come up into half moon. So on your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. Step your foot all the way forward. Point your back toes, and as you rise up, float your leg up, reaching your arms out to the side and really activating that top leg. Bend your knees, swim your hands down and float up and bend and lower, trying to keep the back leg super active. Bend and lower, lift up again. One more time, bend and lower, lift up. Now we're going to bring our right hand to the ground. Keep that left leg super active. Stack your hips, stack your shoulders. Feel that connection of the ground through your whole foot, and reach your arm up. Play with the difference between pointing and flexing your top foot, and really connect to the earth with your bottom foot. Open up across your heart. Connect with your breath. Really, we never want to disconnect with the breath, but it's always a nice reminder to reconnect. And bring your top hand down, float the back leg up. Maybe you can walk your hands back, even behind your standing leg, your standing foot. And then reach back with your toes and step back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up. Reach it high to the sky. And squeeze your knee into your chest. Straighten your leg as you step your foot forward to your hands. Point your back toes. And as you rise up, float your leg up as you float your arms up. Keep that back leg super strong. Bend your knee, sink down. Inhale, reach up through your arms. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift, straighten the leg. One more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. And lower your left hand down. Stack your right hip over your left hip. Open up across the shoulders. Keep that right leg super active. Maybe soften with the breath here as you open up a little bit more. Nice. Lower your top hand down. Standing splits. And step back. Downward facing dog. Ground down through your fingers. Ground down through your whole foot and into the heels. Lift up from the armpits. And from your fingertips, stretch all the way to your sit bones. And from your sit bones, all the way down into your heels. Hug the midline with your arms and your legs to energize your body. And then we're going to play with pivoting on our feet. So lower your knees to hover above the floor like we did earlier when we were walking. And now we're just going to pivot our knees to the left, step into the left foot, cactus left arm, straighten the right leg off to the side. And we're going to come back, pivot on our feet again, pivot to the right, step into your right foot, cactus your left arm, reach through your foot, and come back through center, stretching and rotating from side to side. Really reaching, connecting to the earth with your feet and your hands to open up your whole body. And come back into down dog. Bend your knees, lower your knees to the floor. Rest in child's pose. Feel your breath moving throughout your whole body. And we're going to play with Wild Thing next. Again, paying attention to those three things that I mentioned in the beginning: the connection to your breath, the sensitivity of your breath, and how it can lift you up and ground you down. Paying attention to your connection to the earth, your contact with the earth. And feeling your whole body moving as one unit. So lift your hips, tuck your toes, press back into down dog. Pivot both knees to the left, bring your right hand in toward the center of your mat. Now the difference between your hand and your feet will make a big difference for how high you can lift your hips. If you lift your hips higher, you can straighten your leg and potentially keep your big toe mound of the bottom foot grounded. So I'm trying to bend my knees first, ground into the right big toe mound, ground into the right hand, and then start to reach your left arm overhead. Pick your left knee up, squeeze your knee into your chest, open up across the hips, and push into your foot and your hand, lifting up. And step back into Wild Thing. Come on back. Downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. So bring the left hand in a little bit. Pivot your feet to the right. Plant your left big toe into the ground with your knees bent to start. And push the floor away. Reach your right arm over your head. Start to lift your right knee up and then push into your hand, into your foot. Open up. Bring your leg behind you. Wild thing, open up. And back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees. Rest back into child's pose, this time with your palms facing up. We'll do that movement again just so we can practice it and refine it, and maybe like notice a few little things that might work for you that kind of happen as a result of paying attention, being sensitive. So now ground your hands, lift your hips up, down dog. Bend your knees and pivot your knees, keeping your knees bent. Press into the right big toe mountain. And then start to reach your left arm over your head, keeping your knees bent. Press into the big toe mountain. Start to lift your left knee up toward the sky and start pushing into your foot, pushing into your hand, opening up through the hips. And then lightly step your foot back. Open up, wild thing. Come on back to your down dog. So mindfully, bend your knees, pivot your knees to the right. Press into your left big toe mountain, really rooting it into the floor. Reach your right arm over your head. Keep your knees bent at first. Pick your knee up, squeeze your knee into your chest. And then start to push into your hand and your foot, opening up. And step it back. Wild thing. And come back to downward facing dog. And we'll do those rippling waves through our spine from down dog to plank. So inhale, round forward to plank. Exhale, lift back to down dog. And just continue that movement. Really connecting with the earth, connecting with your breath. Feeling how your whole body is just like moving in this wave-like pattern. And we'll add in up dog. So inhale, round forward to plank. Lower your thighs toward the floor as you pull your shoulders back, pressing your heart forward, reaching back through your heels, and then puff up into your back, and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, round forward to plank. Exhale, lower the hips, hovering the hips off the floor. This time, option to point your toes. Press into the top of your feet, lift up through your heart. And press down into your feet. Come on back into down dog. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, up dog. Back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward and come on into a squat. Close your eyes. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. And feel your hips being pulled toward the earth. And you can do just a gentle rocking back and forth. And lower your hips to the ground. Bring your feet forward. And we're going to slowly lower onto our backs. So just pay attention as you get closer to the earth, how much harder it is to not just plop down. And when your shoulders rest on the ground, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Circle your ankles. Keeping the inside edge of your feet together, reverse the circles. Bring your feet to the earth for bridge pose. Maybe your fingers can touch your heels. Widen your heels out just a little bit, and notice how that little bit of extra space between your heels creates like an energy where your knees want to drop inward instead of dropping outward. So connect your whole foot into the earth. The tripod, the mount of the big toe, pinky toe, center of the heel, the bottom of the big toe. And start to press down and feel your hips float up. Notice the more you hug in and press down without overdoing it, so there could come a point where you're just working so hard that you can't relax. But see if you can relax your neck and shoulders while keeping your legs active, your hips lifted. And then start to soften in your upper back, lowering down one vertebrae at a time, keeping the strong tuck of your tailbone so that your hips lower down last. Let your weight settle into gravity. Now we'll do that again. This time we're going to lift our arms up. So press into your feet, hug your legs in, press down to lift up as you reach your arms way over your head. And press the back of your hands into the floor. Squeeze your legs toward each other a little bit more. Keep your hands pressing down slightly and start to lower your back away from your fingers. Notice how this feels, how it feels different with your hands by your sides or your hands over your head. And release. Bring your arms back by your side. So again, inhale, press up. Keep pressing down into the earth, lifting your hips up, and start to walk your shoulders in towards each other. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your legs together. Press into the earth a little bit more. Press into your arms. Feel your whole body engaging here. Then release your hands and slowly float your legs all the way back down. Finally, let your hips settle into the earth. Lift and shift your hips to the right slightly. Straighten your left leg on the ground and straighten your right leg up in the air. Take your left hand to the outside of your right foot or anywhere along your leg you can reach. Open your right arm to the side and twist your lower body over to the left. So you roll onto the outside edge of your left leg, the inside edge of your right foot. Open up across your shoulder so you're twisting your upper body back to the right. And you have the option to bend your left knee. Reach for your left foot with your right hand. And we're going to relax here, being sensitive to how our body is interacting with this pose, how we feel. How do we feel emotionally in this pose? How do we feel mentally? Are we comfortable, uncomfortable, curious, learning something new? And feel free to explore. Make those little movements. Be sensitive to what's going on in your body and let your body help you to adapt and adjust. We'll just stay here a few more breaths. Release your left foot if you were holding it. Straighten the left leg out. Open your right arm out to the side. And now pull your right hip down to bring your right leg up. Point your toes and reach through your toes as you lower your leg all the way down slowly to the ground. And shift your hips over to the left. Keep the right leg down, reach the left leg up. Reach across your left leg with your right hand and slowly twist your left leg over to the right. Twist your upper body back to the left. Option to bend the right knee, reach for your foot, and find this double bind. And again, make your own little modifications, your own different calibrations. Really listening to your body, listening to your breath, feeling your connection to the earth. And again, that whole body connection. Just a few more breaths here. And release your right foot if you were holding it. Open your left arm back out to the left. Pull your left hip back to the ground. Center your hips and point your left toes, reaching, reaching, reaching as you lower down. And bend your knees and widen your feet as wide as the mat with your arms open to the side. Twist both knees to the right and reach from your really, you could say from your left shoulder, your armpit, all the way down to your left side, to your left knee. And if you want, you could pick your right foot up and place it on top of the left leg for a little extra weight, for a little extra stretch. But if this doesn't feel good for you, if it's too much, then just, place your foot on the ground. But this also might teach you that there's more room for you to lengthen this whole left side of your body. I'll bring your legs back up, your knees back up, and twist over to the left. Reaching out through the right knee, maybe place your left foot on the outside of your right knee. And then bring your knees back to center and come on up into happy baby. Just a few little rocks from side to side. And bring your knees together, give yourself a big hug. And stretch out for Savasana, letting everything relax. Make sure that you give yourself whatever you need to be comfortable. It might be a pillow or a blanket, or it might just be tuning into your breath, giving your body permission to completely relax and let go. And maybe making the exhales a little longer than the inhales. These are all optional suggestions. But you truly know what to do if you believe in your own inner wisdom, and if you're sensitive enough to listen and take action. You're welcome to stay here longer, or you can start bringing some movement into your body in whatever way feels good for you. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me here today for day 23, sensitivity. I hope that you feel really good and have a feeling of peace and harmony and equanimity in your whole body and your whole being, and everything that's connected inside of you and outside of you, and just like feeling this like warmth of love, this feeling of really being dedicated to peace and harmony and kindness. And please bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and see you tomorrow for day 24, Dedicate. Bye for now.